I know you're gonna dig this.
So, we ready?
I guess we're ready.
We're ready? Alright, let's do this. Hey guys, so we're in Shenzhen tonight. You know, this is Kodak.
Hey, what's up? Kodak from I Remember Gaming. How you guys doing?
This is Glovic.
What up? Glovic from Glovic. What's up?
And this is...
Yo, Serpent Today here. How's it going, guys?
you know Serpent Zede. He's the godfather of China vlogging.
That's me.
That's him, yes.
Someday you may ask him to do something.
Yeah. So tonight we are in Shenzhen, which is a huge city, but we're going to be kind of mixing up and talking about your worst experience in a small Chinese town. Now this is a tier 1 city. Look, what tier 1 cities are there in China?
Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Beijing.
And Guangzhou.
Well, I live in a tier 88 town. So, yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, it is.
So I want to talk about, you know, when you guys are in smaller towns, you know, what is your worst experience? I'm gonna start with Kodak here.
All right, so my worst experience was back in 2006. I lived in a really small town in Hubei province called Jingshan.
2 hours later.
I was the only foreigner in the town, except there were 2 other foreigners in the countryside, which I hadn't met yet.
3 hours later.
The first time I met these 2 guys, we went out on the town and we consumed a few alcoholic beverages. And we had gotten a hotel like a little ways away from where I lived, and we had been drinking a lot.
6 hours later.
But a man stopped us, and we went downstairs into this like KTV room, and they brought us out a bunch of beers, and you know, they said, drink up.
Later that evening.
Next thing you know, he says, hey, this guy says he's got some girls that love foreigners, and they saw us come in, and they want to hang out with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, tell them to come on in, you know, and these girls come in.
3 days later.
He says he'll give us both of those girls for my iPod.
1 eternity later.
Why are you trading your iPod for girls? Anyways, finally I was just like, alright man, have fun with your iPod, I'm going up to bed.
Several bad puns later.
But I had taken 2 sips of the beer, my buddy had taken maybe 1, and I got up and I said I was leaving. And so he tried to follow me.
Several days later.
And they blocked him. And he's all, Kodak, help!
Much later.
I'm like, what's going on? It's like, this guy says we owe him 300 RMB for each beer that we took a sip from. And,
Oh, it's like a tea scam.
Yeah.
You got
the
beer
tea
scam.
And I just walked away and he's all, Kodak, you won't let me leave.
The following Thursday.
I laid down. I started drifting off to sleep. And I thought it was a dream. I heard some glass shatter. And I heard some more glass shatter. And I heard giggling.
Later.
So I went over to where all of our glass cups were.
It's gonna be like a SpongeBob moment.
None of the glass cups were
hours
there.
later.
I looked around.
I was thinking that too. So it's a 2-hour video you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Sorry.
Many hours later. 4 to 6 weeks later.
You can edit this if you want.
Yeah.
I think you will.
Just then.
Threw all of our glassware out the window to the street below. I threw our bananas out, and then I got an idea that it'd be funny to go throw all the fire extinguishers out the windows in the hallways to the street below and watch them blow up.
Epilogue.
So that was probably my worst, craziest, most retarded thing I've ever had happen in a small town.
So hookers, iPod, and bananas. Okay.
I got
all things considering, that could have gone a lot worse with those combination of items there. So what is your worst experience in a small city in China?
Since a couple of years back, it's before I'd done my documentary, and I was actually with Simo, and I was with another friend of mine, Marty, who done with Schmidt. And we were riding, and this happens, right? We're riding and riding the whole day, and we look at the map and we say, okay, we can probably get from this city to that city by nightfall. So we're like, good. So we ride, and it's a whole day's ride, like 8 hours, completely toasted. We just want to like crawl up and die, grab a beer, you know, whatever. So we arrive in this little town, and we're looking for like hotels. So we went near there's a train station there, and they had this big sign up there, like in English, business hotel. So like, sweet, it's in English, it's all good. Walk in there. They say, hey, yeah, we want a room, and they're like, sorry, foreigners can't stay here. I was like,
oh, man.
But it says business hotel in English outside. Why would you bother writing it in English if foreigners can't even stay here? Like, sorry, okay, whatever, we're tired, we just hop on the bikes, we'll go around a bit, hopefully find something else.
Okay.
We went to the biggest looking hotel that we could find in the whole city. This massive big thing going there, sorry, foreigners can't stay. We're like, come on guys, look, like the next town's hours away, we really need to stay. And they're like, sorry. So we hop on our bikes, and yeah, 3 hours later.
3 hours later.
So we get to this town in Hunan, it was called like Huaihua or something, I think I remember. Which kind of means bad flower if you ask me. But anyway, so we get to this freaking place. And of course, every hotel's like, sorry, no foreigners, sorry, no foreigners. And I just had it by that point, right? So we get into this like final one where it's like, I'm staying here no matter what. And there's an old lady at the counter, right? And she looks at me, you know, where's your ID cards? So I gave her my Chinese driver's license. Okay.
Okay.
She's looking, because I've got a Chinese, and it's got my name in Chinese. But of course it's got my passport number, it doesn't have my ID, like Chinese ID number, so it's too short. So she puts it in the system, it doesn't work. I'm like, that's okay, just add some zeros to the end. So she's like, okay, and it doesn't work. So I said, don't worry about it. You know, it'll be fine tomorrow, you can try. It's probably just something wrong with the system. So she let us stay.
Yeah.
She let us stay, yeah. But, you know, next morning we had to sneak out real early. We couldn't leave the room, you know. As foreigners are not allowed to stay, but that's one of the most frustrating, crazy things is that we couldn't find a place to stay.
You had to trick an old
There's
lady.
no room at the end, dude.
There's
You're
no
like
room
the
at the
Messiah.
end. Flobik, what is your worst adventure in a small Chinese town?
I live in a compound in the neighborhood of Shanghai that's kind of old and that's mostly populated by old Chinese people. I'm the only foreigner in the whole neighborhood.
Nice.
And my landlords are an old couple that live right next door to my apartment.
Okay.
And one day, I think it's last year, my water heater broke, and they came in and ordered a new one to replace it. But they ordered a bigger one, thinking they would do me a favor because it's bigger, it's better.
Of course.
But it wouldn't fit in the cupboard anymore because there's a big metal pipe, like at least like a 2-3 inch diameter metal pipe that was going down the cupboard.
Diameter.
It's okay, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
French.
But he's French-Canadian. We won't hold it against him.
Okay.
No. doesn't
So
have
there
the
was
Canadian
like a big, at least 2 or 3 inch diameter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it.
Diameter.
accent.
Diameter.
Nailed it!
Anyways, there was a big metal. Edit this part out. So in the cupboard, there was a big metal pipe going down, taking a lot of space in the cupboard. And the old man, the landlord, just thought, you know, this is taking up some room, and I can't fit the new big ass water heater in there. So he just came in with a hammer. He just came in with a hammer and started hammering the pipe away, like a big metal pipe. Just not even
Just
using
the
like
pipe.
not even a proper tool to cut it nicely or anything. And I'm thinking like this is his properties. I wouldn't do that to my own property, but it's his, so I guess he knows what he's doing.
He's like Tim Allen on Home Improvement.
And I thought he knew what he was doing. I was
More
just,
power!
but he actually had no clue what he was actually hammering away. And just like maybe an hour or two later, the upstairs neighbor had to come down to let us know that he was actually hammering away the drain pipe.
2 hours later.
The drain pipe from the upper floor. This was horrible.
Like the sewage drainage pipe.
No, like the sink drain
Okay.
pipe. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't have any turds falling down.
No
Yeah.
turds.
That's good.
Just water, but still, I mean, and this landlord was so clueless. He didn't even bother to wonder like what was the use of this big pipe. Just started like smashing it with a hammer.
What a gangster.
It sounds like Mario and Donkey Kong, you know.
And then because you know there's a broken pipe and it's the drain, so they had to set up like a temporary funnel.
Epilogue.
that would catch the water and get it in a smaller pipe that would go into my kitchen sink.
Chinese MC Hammer.
Monkey hammer.
You can't touch this.
Can't bash this. That landlord could have made it on the Red Green show for sure. Right?
Oh, no doubt.
If she can't find you handsome, at least she'll find you handy.
Well, I suppose the worst thing that happened to me so far is all of the naked people that I see in my town. Do you guys see naked people in your town?
Sometimes.
I see like
them,
babies and
like
asses
those,
everywhere.
You're talking about those like homeless dudes with the ratty hair.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean like seriously, like well-groomed people. They're walking around, you know, glasses, nice sneakers and socks, over-the-shoulder bag, just flapping around, and that's not all that's flapping around.
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's always like some homeless
You're gonna need to post some pics in this video or didn't. I went to Dashin DTA with all 3 of my children.
Okay.
And I had my stroller, and we went and got in the elevator, and I was playing on my phone, and I had my 2 kids here and the baby in the stroller, and the doors of the elevator open at Dashin, and I look up right into a vagina.
What? For that.
There was this homeless lady that looked like Golem, just sitting there like this, and I grabbed my kid's eyes.
It's terrible. Yeah.
And her hair was like Golem, like my precious, and just spread eagle.
Much later.
As the door opened, it was just like, oh, like
That's
it was the
terrible.
grossest, most heinous, and like I just covered my kids and like pushed the stroller with my belly out.
Several bad puns later.
I've only seen one naked lady in China. It was in Jiamutou. Some crazy lady. She come and she's like, you know, sitting on those little, they have those concrete things in cars and driving through. She's sitting there kind of wiggling around and doing all this stuff and rubbing her boobs on the window. And so the shopkeeper came out and gave her a dress. And so I'm there with my mom and my sisters and my daughters, and they're all like, and I'm just like, oh my God, she was terrible looking. And so she disappears in this dress. She comes back 15 minutes later.
15 minutes later.
Still naked. I don't know if she wanting like a, you know, a scam to get free clothes or something. I don't know.
It's weird to get a second dress.
Yes. So, speaking of which, I need to get dressed because I was up on Serpent ZA's rooftop and.
So you know how to get new shorts now.
Yeah. So, yes,
It was you when I got off the elevator.
I totally split my shorts.
I totally ripped my pants. I went up to, we were on top of Serpent ZA's building. I went to step up to get a better view and inadvertently ended up giving everyone there a better view as well.
Oh well.
But I'm wearing boxers, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So-
Thank goodness for everybody.
Thank goodness for everyone, yeah. So, well, hey, you know, I appreciate you guys joining us. As with everything else,
Stay awesome.
stay awesome.
It's a Kodak moment.
It's a Kodak moment.
Catch you later.
Catch you later. It's his catchphrase.
Frosty.
And stay frosty.
Very nice. Cool.
Good one. Took a turn for the naked people, really, all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys joining me for a quick drive down memory lane of your worst experience in a small Chinese town. Like anything else, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And always carry a can of sardines.